During my lifetime, I played all the Disgaea games. Disgaea 1, Disgaea 2, Disgaea 3. Disgaea 4 is not pictured because I don't know where it is, and honestly, it kind of concerns me a little bit. And Disgaea 5. Also, Disgaea 6. I got a review copy from NIS America. Never did a copy of it. But anyway, in all those games, the only one that I've really played a huge amount of, and I hate to admit this, Disgaea 1. That's the game that I love the most, and all the other games just didn't do it for me. I don't know why. I have no idea why. But Disgaea 7 did. And we're going to talk about that today. I got a review copy from NIS America because they're awesome. And yeah, it's a great game. It's a good game, and I think that it is reinvigorated the wild grind that is Disgaea for me. This video isn't exactly a review because I haven't beat the game yet. I've got caught in the grind. I've played 30 hours, which really isn't anything for a Disgaea game, and I've just been stuck in the grind. Mostly the item world, because I love the item world. I don't know why that's such a thing. Randomly generated maps that continually go on and on and on, my friends. There's other things that I like about this, and we're going to talk about that, though. So, first off, the story. Story for this game is really, really fun. In fact, it kind of reminds me of the fun that I had with Disgaea 1, which I still think has the best story. It's just crazy characters and wild and zany antics. In Disgaea 7, you play as a little girl, name's Priscilla or something like that, and she's a fashion designer, a rich person, if you will, flying a giant ship with a base on it that travels to the netherworld to get inspiration for her fashion items, which honestly doesn't sound all that exciting. But it is. It's freaking exciting because she goes to the world of Bushido! Yeah, she goes to like a feudal Japan part of the netherworld, and that immediately piqued my interest. As you all know, and should know, because the damn page is called Yokuso Otaku, I'm an otaku. I love otaku stuff. I like anime things. And Disgaea has always been that. But in this game, it seems to be especially anime-y. And having an otaku main character is just absolutely aces. So Priscilla meets this big, rough, and tough fighter guy with a mysterious background that we really don't know about, and he doesn't really seem to talk about it either. He wants money, which in the game we know is called hell. He wants hell, and he wants lots of hell, tons of it. To do so, he finds out that this stupid little rich girl has money, and they just, meet and pair together, because that makes sense, right? Person with money, person who wants money. And this dude's like the ultimate ass kicker deluxe. And he's ready to do her bidding for money and gets wrapped up into a fun little contract. So he gets screwed into the position that he's in, but he's okay because he gets to kick ass, and at the end of the day, he gets tons of money. So the adventure immediately starts off pretty zany and pretty interesting and pretty fun. The Bushido stuff really, really made me interested because, ancient Japan's cool. And I was really thinking that there'd be a lot of kind of ancient Japan stuff. The game starts off pretty front-heavy with a lot of those Bushido ideas and stuff, but you find out that it's actually not so much about Bushido as it is about the fall of Bushido in this world, as evil overlords have taken over, as would happen in a demon world, and they've collected all these super special weapons, which the main character needs, and a lot of zany casts kind of interact with them as it continues on. I'm not going to spoil the story a whole bunch, but I will tell you it's a lot of fun, it's zany, and it kind of brought me back to that kooky, weird silliness that we've seen in previous Disgaea games, at least my favorite ones personally. So again, this is not so much a review, this is more of just an opinion where I'm talking about what I like about the game. So as you find in the Disgaea games, there's a base, and there's a ton of different activities you can do. I found the pacing in 6 to be kind of slow, with a lot of slog tutorials at the beginning and stuff. It didn't click with me, and that's why I didn't really do a review or cover anything on it. I will at some point. I just don't know exactly what I want to say about that game. It just didn't bring me into it like other Disgaea games have, and I was kind of concerned with that with this one, but hopeful with all the anime and Cheeto and otaku stuff. And it came in spades and got me re-addicted to the grind. So in your main base area, there's different places you can unlock. It feels a little stifled at first because you don't have access to a lot, but really you'll get the hang of how the major game systems work right off the bat, and you'll be able to kite through. This is a game that I think would be totally fine for a beginner to play. If you guys have not heard of Disgaea or played Disgaea before, you shouldn't really be too shy to pick up a copy of this one. All the stories are separate and unique, and for the most part, the mechanics are pretty similar in all of them. There's not really a whole lot you're missing, though Disgaea 1 is kind of a masterpiece in my opinion. I don't even play strategy games, for one. Let me just throw that out there, but I have 600 hours in my very first save file for Disgaea 1 on PS2. There's a damn good reason. It's just fun. It's freaking fun. It's fun. And Disgaea 7 brings that fun back. So, as you would expect in your main base area, you have a slew of things that you eventually unlock, and it does happen fairly quickly. The pacing in the game is well, like I said. And you can get different activities to do outside of just main story battles, some of which are pretty much standard, as we've seen, like the Dark Assembly, where if you want to boost your character's skills, personally, I prioritized moving farther and jumping higher right off the bat. You can spend your mana points that you gain in battle and request with the court to be granted these extra boons in life. As you'd expect, not everyone agrees with you in court, and so you got to make them agree. And if you can't make the majority of votes, then you'll have to choose whether you want to give up and you'll lose your mana, or you can spend money, which can be significant at times, or you can fight them and beat them, true demon style, like it's a Shin Megami Tensei game. Except for like a Shin Megami Tensei game, if you try to do that at the beginning of the game, you're gonna get the brakes beaten off your car. So I wouldn't suggest it. However, it is a pretty cool, fun thing, and there's a lot of different unlockables that you get, more and more things that you'll get access to ask the courts for as you continue through, which makes it a pretty fun and standard feature. Another cool thing that they have in the game that's unlocked fairly quickly is called the Juice Bar, where again, as you fight, you gain your mana, and you can spend your mana, but also access experience points on other characters, which helps with leveling larger parties or taking characters that you've just, cultivated, recruited, and bring them up to speed with the rest of your characters so they're not just slogging behind. I actually liked it quite a bit, and as a person who grinds, I got a ton and ton and ton of that stuff to spend and really kind of bolstered my team very quickly. I would say that this is one of those games where the very, very beginning of the game is probably the hardest, and once you open up things enough, you can just totally break the game, go bonkers, make your characters crazy, go into the item world, which is another great feature, where you can delve into an endless dungeon, and I do that all the time, and you can fight monsters and go from level to level to level, and it increases the item that you're inside of and makes it more powerful. So you can have incredibly powerful weapons, you can have incredibly powerful and skillful people, and you can spend all the mana points you want and experience points that you want on bolstering your characters with the Juice Bar. Another thing I wanted to mention, they did change up the hospital a little bit. Before, when you died or you got hurt, and this was to great effect of the game, you would have to pay money, to revive your characters, to bring them back to health, but you gained points in that store, so to speak, and you could get cool items from it. They changed that up now. They have a feature called the Evil Gacha, and every time that you spend money, spend your hell, to make your characters more powerful, you'll be able to accumulate these special points, which you can spend in a gacha, and, gachapons are random, so sometimes you get crap and sometimes you get great stuff, but it really actually became kind of addicting for me because there's special items that you can unlock in the gachas, like kind of the S tier ones. They're really powerful items that bolster your team up, and then when you complete and you've collected all of the ones, the big bad items that you can get from the gacha pull, you'll get kind of like a prize for doing that. And they'll unlock the next tier for you, which granted is more expensive, but also comes with more awesome items. I thoroughly loved it. It was a lot of fun, and it's something that I definitely makes me kind of happy sometimes when I get crappy characters knocked out and stuff, because then that just means I'm going to get more points when I got the money to revive them. Something that kind of surprised me, I don't know if other games have had it. I apparently never got to that point if they did, but they have a little thing called the Cheat Shop, which initially I was like, oh man, this game's pretty tough at the beginning. Oh, some cheats? That'd be fun. Maybe I'll be that loser guy and I'll do that. Well, it's not exactly like you think that it was. In fact, It gives you a couple different stats that you can look at for how much XP you gain, your normal XP, item proficiency, stuff like that, class proficiency that you have, and it gives you a scale from 0 to 100. You can lower the experience that you gain in one area and expand the experience you gain in another and kind of fine tune for what you want. So if you're focused on getting like your items, your proficiency with your items really strong and powerful, you can do that. If you want to just blast out XP, you can do that. It doesn't come completely unhinged from the beginning, though. They only let you drop a couple points and add a couple points. But as you continue to play, it unlocks more, and you can rip through stuff. By the end of Chapter 3, I was able to go all the way down to 75% down, which allows for a lot. Like, you can really stack stuff a lot when you're taking it down to 75%, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty fun thing to do, and it has been really, really helpful. I think this game is one of those games that initially seems hard, but it gets easier as you continue to play because it gives you more and more stuff to just bonkersly break the game. Another couple things I want to talk about, and we'll just kind of go through these pretty quick. In your main base, you have the general store where you can buy general items, and as you play through the game, that'll upgrade in itself. That's pretty basic and standard mechanic in most games. They also have a skill shop where you can take that mana that I was talking about before, and you can increase skills. So if you have characters that's kind of lacking in skills and you have an excess of mana, or you pull mana from the juice bar, you are more than welcome to go to the skill shop and kind of bolster some of your skills up, making your characters more powerful and having even more fun as you destroy through the item world over and over and over again, never stopping the grind. I mean, that's what I do, but you may play different. And they also have a thing called the squad shop, which I wasn't really familiar with at all, but it was kind of interesting. So you have a bunch of different squads that you can form, and they allow a certain amount of characters that you can put into them. And one of them, the first one that you put in, is known as the leader, and they get like maximum benefits from the squad. And every squad is kind of for its own thing. They have, like, for one, they have the capture squad, which boosts the stats during when you play base panel battles. There's skill trainers that increases skill XP, and there's like a voter squad you can unlock. There's other stuff you can unlock in the Dark Assembly as you keep playing. I haven't got all of them yet, but basically you just kind of grab characters that are in your party and you throw them into little squads and get the benefits and bonuses that you want, which actually makes them pretty significantly more powerful. And you can also spend mana and upgrade each of those and have, like, squad levels. The higher the squad level that you have, the more powerful they become as well. Another little quick mention thing, they also have a place called the Quest Shop, which gives you a lot of different little quests. And honestly, I thought they were going to be kind of like more robust quests, like go to some place and do, fight something or whatever. But it's a little bit different than that. And instead, it's just like stuff like, kill 50 warriors. And once you kill 50 warriors, you'll get a special item when you come back and turn that quest in. Stuff like that. But they are all very helpful. And it is definitely worth doing because some of them even unlock more characters to recruit, more classes to recruit. And that brings me into the last section that I wanted to talk about. And that is the recruiter. There is a very, very important guy that calls himself the Scout Shop. He allows you to be able to hire new characters. Now, you can pull characters that you've had before, and if you've leveled them up and they're in higher ranks, you can actually just pull those new higher ranks. They do cost money to do, as we've seen in previous Disgaea games, and there is a number of really awesome ones that are unlocked right off the top, and as you continue to play, you will get more and more access to more and more characters. They get pretty freaking powerful, which is kind of the name of the game for Disgaea. This is one thing that I really, really love about the game and has not gone away, is that you can break the game. The game allows you to just bust it up and just go crazy. And to a certain degree, they'll give you challenges based on that will kind of force you to do things a little bit heavier handed than you might find in a traditional RPG or strategy RPG. One of my most favorite boosts is a new thing in the game called jumbo-ification, where after you've defeated a certain number of enemies on the board, you will have the option to jumbo-ify your character. And really the best way to explain it is to talk about the first time you get to unlock that. a pretty exciting time. It's during the first major boss that you fight in the game. And yeah, he'll, I mean, if you're anything like me, he'll just rip you up on the second round. He will destroy you because you need to learn a very valuable lesson. Just like Matador and SMT Nocturne, the boss is out to teach you a lesson, and that is that you need to jumbo-ify very, very freaking quickly and smack him around as fast as you can or face certain demise. And if your main jumbo-ified character has passed, you must jumbo-ify the next as fast as you can, otherwise you will lose. It was actually a really, really cool mechanic that I wasn't sure how they were going to make it fit into the game, and they did it beautifully. They did it beautifully, in my opinion. It offers a level of fear that comes out of nowhere that I was not expecting. And it really plays out well, even in the item world, actually. I've been shocked a couple times when everything seems to be going really great, and then somebody jumbo-ifies and smashes my team into the ground and blows them up everywhere. And then I have to panic really quick and see who's alive to jumbo-ify and attack back. It's a pretty great mechanic. It's a lot of fun, and I don't know why, but as many times as I see the damn cutscene or the jumbofication where, Godzilla's coming to town and the reporter is screaming in terror, it's just fun every time, and I always want to watch it, and I never want to skip it. It's just good. It's good stuff. So we've talked about how fun the story is. We've talked about how fun the gameplay is and how we have a lot of returning features and a couple new features that are really fun, but here's one more thing that I want to talk about, and that is the things that I don't like. Yes, there is a couple things that I don't like about the game. Now, I have a copy for the Switch, and honestly, the performance has been shocking. I play it on quality only, and I have noticed very few issues. I'm on version 1.0, which is what reviewers get, so I don't get any of the flashy updates or anything that might come to town for you guys to play when the game actually comes out, but it runs way better than I expected. Disgaea 6 ran terrible on my Switch. Even on performance mode, it was not something I wanted to keep playing. It was very frustrating to me. I actually was really upset at that. But Disgaea 7 shockingly ran really, really well. Now, I did have a couple issues here and there with it. You know, it's not perfect. And granted, I've never changed it off quality mode, so that might be why. But one of the things that I did notice as I was running across the base map, and this only happened like twice in 30 hours, so I'll give them some credit there. But the game kind of locks, kind of freezes you in place, and then you kind of have to wait for a second, and then everything just resumes to normal. It's not really the worst thing that could happen, but it's frustrating, and it's annoying, and it's probably a Switch performance issue. The other thing that I don't like is the perspective of the maps seem to throw me off sometimes. I had a really bad problem with throwing my cursor off the map and then trying to like track it back in a way where the cursor would land back onto the squares I could see. Like it would fall between like the gaps, if that makes any sense. And it was just something that was really annoying to me. It's easy to fix, and honestly, I'm probably just not playing the game like a master player. You can just hit like ZL and ZR and swap between characters and control them that way. But I don't know. I like to freely move my cursor around and grab things and move things as it is. And I did find that a little bit tedious at times. The other thing, too, is initially I was almost a little turned off from the game because it felt difficult. And, that's such a pathetic thing to say, honestly. Like, get good. And I did so very quickly. It wasn't a big deal, but it seemed a little daunting at first. It seemed like they almost restrict you just a little too much right at the top end, and they don't give you like enough that you could kind of butter through stuff as much as a person might want to. Now, this might, again, just be This might just be a crappy Dre opinion. I got him. I play games on easy mode. I'm that pathetic IGN reviewer that all the kids like to scream about. And, I don't play Dark Souls. So sometimes I just am an old man, like to come home from work and not get my ass whooped. And, it was kind of hard at the beginning of this game, but then it opened up and it blossomed. It became beautiful, and I loved it forever. And hopefully I will love it forever, too. And that's pretty much everything that I have to say about the game. If you guys are interested in learning more or asking me more questions, I will be live later today, probably around 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, and we will be playing for a couple hours. You guys can ask me any questions, and we can just kick it and and check out some of the gameplay from later in, past chapter 3, but not too late in the game. Pretty early stuff. If you guys like this content, hit the thumbs up. If you don't, hit the thumbs down. Subscribe to Otaku for more anime news reviews and gaming content. And later in the year, actually less than a month from now, a trip to Japan. We're stoked. Catch you on the next one.